Hi, everyone. This is the optional judges meeting virtual um, for the 2026 in-person auditions here at the University of Maryland. We have a nice full room of people watching today. I am going to be recording this and sending out the link so that those of you who weren't here can watch it later. Or if you missed something, you can go back and look at it later. Um, if there are questions along the way, I just ask if you'll hold them until I ask. If there are any questions, I will have plenty of time for you to do so. All right, I am going to share my screen. But first, I'm going to hit Do Not Disturb. There we go. I am going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see the PowerPoint? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Excellent. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. So this is part 2 of our NATS student auditions. For those of you who are newer to our region, we are a progressive region, meaning all of these students that you'll be hearing have already qualified for the auditions at the chapter level within our region. And those chapters are South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland, D.C. So this is their second round of auditions in these particular categories. We have a fairly large membership in the region, so we alternate the categories every year that are in person versus virtual. So this year our virtual categories were the musical theater and commercial music, and part 2, which we're going to talk about now, are the classical and Hal Johnson student auditions, and they are in person this year at the University of Maryland. Okay. Just a little bit about the schedule and what to expect during the audition days. We start the day out with a judges meeting, but actually we start a little before that. We have a kind of a check-in that starts at around 8 o'clock on Friday and around 8:30 on Saturday. Judges come in, they check at the welcome desk, sign in, get their name badges or adjudication forms that they need, lists that they need for the day. And if there are any announcements that are emergent, you'll get it there at the registration table. Then we have hospitality very near where the judges meeting is going to be. Above the Applause Cafe there in the Clarice where we're going to be. That hospitality will be coffee and pastries and hot tea, all the things to make your morning a little extra bright. We will meet at 8:30 on Friday or 9 o'clock on Saturday for the judges meeting in the choir room of the Clarice and the School of Music at the University of Maryland. And we'll be going through a lot of what we're talking about tonight on this Zoom call. But sometimes in the room, teachers have questions that you didn't even think of. So I highly encourage, if this is your first audition cycle, that you not only watch this video, but you absolutely come to the in-person too, so that you feel extra prepared going into the day. Adjudication assignments happen during the day. I've sent everyone a schedule. I sent an updated schedule late last night, and I'm crossing my fingers that it's not going to change too much between now and Friday morning. I don't envision that it will, but you never know. After your adjudication assignment, then we'll have sing-off rounds in the afternoon. And those begin around 1 p.m. And that's a kind of flexible. Those sing-off rounds really depend on the split categories finishing on time and those rooms getting tallied in the tally room so that those rounds can start. Then we have workshop presentations that are happening as part of the conference that begin at 1 p.m. On Friday, those will happen in the opera room. You'll see signs posted. You'll see things on social media about it. And then on Saturday, the workshops will be in the choir room. Our honors recital will include the top scorer in every category. That recital on Friday will be 4 p.m. and then on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. And then Friday night, this is starting to become a favorite event of mine. It's the 6 p.m. Friday evening member social. This year we're doing it at the Hall CP. It's for members, and we've got a nice food spread, taco party, and we're going to be welcoming our brand new executive director, Melissa Greenblatt, is going to be with us. So we're very excited that she's going to be there. There's going to be a cash bar, and it's just a time to away from the students, just to enjoy each other and maybe talk a little shop, maybe not, just to come together in fellowship. So what is a sing-off category? A sing-off category is any category with a dash before it. So 5A1, 3B2, anything with a -1, -2, -3. What it means is that those categories have a lot of students in them, and rather than having one set of judges adjudicate all of them, we divide up that category and have 3 sets of judges adjudicate groups of those students. And then the top 3 from each one of those groups then go into a sing-off to determine who the NSA qualifiers are going to be. Who are we going to send for that category in to the NSA preliminaries? We can only send 5 qualifiers per category, so it's important that we do these sing-offs. If you are a sing-off adjudicator, you will receive an email from me when the sing-off adjudication is ready. There will also be a location that is posted in the results document and an approximate time when that will begin. 1 song, no comments, score only. Students will come in out of order. They'll come in when they are available. They may be coming from lunch or coming from something and just found out that they qualified for the sing-off. And so they may scramble in. They may have their pianist. They may not. So each one of the sing-off rooms will have an assigned pianist to it, so that if a student comes and they don't have a pianist, we have someone to play for them, and they will pick 1 song of their choice from their audition repertoire to sing for the adjudicators for the sing-off round. Yes, let's see. Assignments. So you're going to look for assignments, look for multiple assignments, check your students. Do you see any conflicts? If there are issues, you want to let me know about that right away. You all have my email address, but I'm going to give you my phone number later in this presentation. So all of our adjudication with NATS in our region is done online, is done virtually. So every adjudicator will bring their own computer with them or laptop to do the adjudication on. If you don't have a device and you need a device, would like to borrow a device, just make sure that you're letting me know in advance so I can have one ready for you to do that. But you'll access the online judging through Auditionware. There are lots of tutorials available on the NATS website. Look for updates to the schedule, and we just want to be flexible. The students are already nervous enough, and they don't need us to be nervous and worried as well. So just go with the flow, be flexible. I want to take a moment and show you some of the judging resources that we have, as well as show you how to access Auditionware and what it's going to look like when you get there. So let me share a different screen with you really quick. Let's see. Okay, so when you come to the NATS website, this is what the home page looks like. When you come to the NATS website, this is nats.org. Look at all those happy people. And if you click up here on your email address, it will take you to your member page. If you don't see an email there, you're going to want to log in to make sure that you're logged into the site before you try to go to Auditionware. So you'll click on your email address and it's going to take you to your member page. Look, I am in good standing. I don't owe any money. If you scroll down on this page, there's a lot of interesting things that you can check out on your own. But if you scroll down, you'll get to a little green button over here that says Auditionware. And you'll click on that button and it's going to take you to the Auditionware site, right? My screen looks a little bit different from what you're going to see because I have all of the administrative things that you wouldn't normally see. But when you get to this page, you'll go over here to view my participant, schedule scores, adjudicate participant, Mid-Atlantic 2026 for the classical and Hall Johnson. So it'll be that particular one. I'm going to go back to the NATS Resource Center. I do have this linked in my PowerPoint, but it's also in my documents about adjudication. So you can go back to any of my emails that I sent and you'll see a link to this page. If you scroll down, it's in chapters here. You can look at the full, the categories of entry for the NSA if you're curious, if you are someone who is adjudicating for the first time. Again, we're doing the classical. And let's say you are adjudicating CL2A. CL2A is youth classical lower, so that has an age limit of 12 and the students can't be above the 8th grade. It is a 6-minute category and it looks like each auditioner has prepared 2 age-appropriate selections contrasting by composer, tempi, and text from the classical repertoire. But we have that for children and youth categories, high school categories, and these are your Saturday categories, children and youth and high school. And then our Friday categories are lower post-high school categories or college, and then upper post-high school categories, Hall Johnson, advanced categories, and adult avocational. So if you are assigned to adjudicate CL11, you'll see the number here on your left. Adult classical, this is an avocational, meaning the adults in this category just do it because they love to sing, right? There's no age limit, no length of study limit. That's a 10-minute slot, 3 selections from the classical repertoire, contrasting by composer, tempo, and text. They're required to have an art song in English, 1 art song in a language other than English, and 1 additional art song or aria. So if you're curious about the category that you're adjudicating and what the requirements and what is the age of the student that you'll be adjudicating, this is where you'll find that information. And again, that was the NSA categories of entry. If you are adjudicating or interested in sending children and youth or commercial music or Hall Johnson, there are some extra resources here if you're interested in having your own students participate in the auditions in the future. It just gives you a little bit of background on these categories and what to expect in those categories. If I scroll down a little bit, we have the NSA adjudication resources. This is really the meat of why we came to this page. I wanted to point out to you in advance, one, what the adjudication forms look like, what the rubrics look like and how they can help you, as well as point you in the direction of the adjudicator training videos. It's extremely important that we take just 15 minutes and look at a training video for whatever category we're going to be adjudicating. If you are adjudicating children and youth, then you would watch this one. If you're adjudicating classical just in general, say classical post-high school singers, if you click on any of these videos, they are all there. This one comes with a fun commercial. But the NSA team has done a really great job of creating these videos.
Categories in NATS, National Student Audition.
It really gives you a breakdown of what to expect in the audition, what you're going to see on the forms, what the purpose of these auditions are, and how we go about adjudicating commercial music, or how we go about adjudicating children and youth. What are the things we're actually looking for? What are we commenting on? And all of these videos are under 15 minutes. They've done a really good job of keeping them short, easily digestible, and they're just really great. So I cannot recommend them more highly. But we have one of those for each one of these. The rubric for the classical categories, which is the rubric we're going to be using, Hall Johnson uses the classical rubric. If you are adjudicating Hall Johnson, we are adjudicating on tone, breath alignment, text and diction, musicianship, artistry, and then just giving comments on ensemble. But you can see that we score things on a scale of 70 to 100. Keeping in mind that this classical rubric is for all age levels. So meaning the advanced singers use this rubric just as the children use this rubric. So we want to make adjustments to our expectation based on the age and level of the student, with the understanding that each one of these students has already qualified at their chapter level, having received at least 2 90s or above, or an average of 90 or above to even get to the region. And we're judging really against a standard, not against the other students in the room. So you're not trying to come up with a ranking for the students in the room, but to really look at them in their overall development and where they really fall in this range. At the region event, we would typically not have scores under 85. Most of these students, for their age, are going to be within that 85 to 100 range, and with the majority of them being a little bit on that higher side. Let's see. The other thing I want to show you are the adjudication forms. Of course, these will be in a digital format, so it'll be slightly different, but this is what the form looks like. If there are technical difficulties in the room, there will be just a handful of paper forms in the adjudication folder that goes with each category. so that it is possible to write in order to keep the room moving, because we can add those scores and comments after the fact. But as you can see, there is lots of room on here for comments, your signature, name, and then a score. If a student is singing for comments only, this box up here will be checked. And online, you won't even have the option to put in a score, right? But this is what that form generally looks like. There are a couple of other really great resources on this page I would just want to briefly bring to your attention. There's a document on here, sample short and amplified comments for classical categories. One of the most beneficial things for students who are coming to our auditions, it's not the competition aspect of it, it's the comments. It's the fact that they have 3 professional voice teachers listening to them, all listening with ears that have different experiences, and they're giving them constructive feedback. So giving them as much feedback on what they're doing as possible. I like to think of it, because we want it to be constructive, that it's like a compliment sandwich, right? We're acknowledging what they do well already and giving them some feedback to help them grow further, and then ending it on a positive note. It is extremely important that these students leave with a positive feeling about their singing, even if they do have things that they need to work on. And, let's face it, who doesn't? But this particular document kind of gives you an idea of what short constructive comments look like versus amplified constructive comments. How might you really flush out your comments so that they're really helpful for a student? So this is a really great document that if you get in a rut, you can come back to and go, oh, that's a great way to put that. And they're just examples of things. Other helpful things on here: sample comments for classical singing, short general phrases, more specific comments, very specific comments, right? The comments are really what they're here for. So the more time and care you can put into the comments, the better. And then there's an adjudication's best practices. Asking yourself, what is the process? We want to be encouraging and appreciative, empathetic. We want to be truthful, but encouraging, giving them as much specificity as we can, and tact, right? So that's also a really helpful resource. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint now. Okay. So when going back to auditionware for a second, this is just a visual that our previous region governor put together that I just use over and over again. This is from 2020, believe it or not. But again, it shows you when you get to auditionware what you should be clicking on. View my student adjudicator schedule, and you'll click on that box. If you scroll down, you'll see a little red thing that says important adjudicators are required to watch an 18-minute video. You can watch that video, and you can watch one of the ones that I mentioned on the resource page. And then it's going to ask you to just acknowledge that you've watched the video before you begin adjudicating. When you get into the adjudication, you'll see students' names. followed by a button that says add or edit. The add button just means you haven't opened their adjudication form yet. If you submit an adjudication form and then refresh this page, that button will then say edit. So if you go back in, you can edit that score or edit that comment if you think of something later in the room that you want to add to your comments. This is what the online adjudication form looks like. You'll see their repertoire here already printed for you. This repertoire has already been vetted based on the criteria for the category in which they are registered. If you have a question about the repertoire and whether or not it meets the criteria, feel free to just send me a quick note or send me an email, and I'm happy to look into that. I don't want you to feel like you need to really take time worrying about that. And please, please, please don't write anything about concerns about their repertoire on their adjudication form if there are any questions about that. If you'll notice, in the online form, we have some toggles here. You see these pink arrows here, and they're just little sliders that you can slide back and forth. They don't create the score for you, but they're a good visual representation that we can use to really represent where we feel like that student is between with tone and musicianship and artistry. Again, based on their age level. The important thing is that these toggles really are a reflection of your comments and the score that you ultimately give them. It is extremely confusing to a student to have all of those little sliders up in the 95 part of the scoring, but then they get an 88 as their score at the bottom, right? That's very confusing for a student. And then vice versa. It's very, very confusing to have the sliders around 85, but then you give them a 98, right? This is meant as just a really quick visual for students. And then, of course, we have spaces for you to write in your comments. You can see there that there are some YouTube links under that. This is not a virtual round, so there will not be YouTube links. These will be live singers in the room. At the bottom, you'll add a score, and then you'll hit submit, right? This adjudication form will time out, right? It opens in a separate tab, and so if you're worried about it timing out, I would just go ahead and hit submit, refresh the other page, and come back into it. But if you don't hit submit, it will not be saved. Your score and your comments will not be saved. So when we're getting ready to adjudicate, each room is going to have 3 adjudicators in the room. You'll want to review the category requirements, the rubrics, and the training video, like I said. Allow yourself some time, take breaks, eat something. And that's, I tried to not make the adjudication rooms too terribly long, and we do want to keep basically on schedule. But if you need to take a break for 10 minutes and go to the bathroom, please take a break. Make sure your room is set up well, meaning you have something easy to write on or type on. You can clearly see where the student is going to be singing, and they can feel connected to their pianist. And then that there's a timer. There will need to be a timer in each room, and that there's a general routine. Who is going to open the door and welcome the next singer? Who is going to keep time? And are you going to take turns asking for the repertoire? The student starts with the song of their choice, and then from then on, the adjudicators choose from the repertoire until the timer goes off. Each category has a time limit. For some categories, they won't meet that limit. So some of the lower categories that are 6-minute categories or 8-minute categories, they may not have enough, the duration of their repertoire may not even meet that limit, so you don't have to worry about it. But what we do want to do is start that timer when the music starts, and when the time is up. Even if the student is in the middle of a song, we want to stop the audition and move on to the next student so that that room can stay relatively on time. Just in general, some things to note. The head judge is the one in charge and kind of the spokesperson. That's not to say that they're the boss of you, but we do want to keep things consistent in the room so that everybody knows what to expect, and that there's always someone whose job it is to report to the tally room if there's an issue. The head judge is going to be the person, if there's a list of 3 judges, it's the first judge listed is going to be the head judge in that room. And you'll indicate a timekeeper and a pattern of repertoire selection. So one person will keep the time, right? And then maybe you take turns with the repertoire selection. The head judge will want to get a cell phone number for each of the judges in the room in case there's an issue, so that we can get in touch with them quickly if there is a problem with the score. After the first 3 students, we ask you to compare the averages of the 3 and adjust if needed. Take the first 3 scores, average them together, and then everyone compare the average just to see if we're all in the ballpark. If everyone is in the ballpark, then we can keep moving. But if there needs to be an adjustment so that the scale is consistent, we ask that you make that adjustment at that time. Here's a pro tip. Never lose your comments and scores. I tell you from experience that this particular website can be a little bit finicky, and internet can sometimes be a little bit wonky when we're in different places. And if there is an internet blip, you might lose comments or scores within the document that you have open right at the moment. So I would highly suggest that you type your comments and scores into a Word document and then cut and paste them back into Auditionware, and then just save those scores and comments until the end of the audition day, at least, and so, just in case there's a problem. Don't forget to hit submit. No emojis. We have discovered that Auditionware does not like emojis, and it will throw an error message, and you will lose all of your comments in whatever form you have open at that moment. So no emojis, and please, 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 no decimals. Whole numbers only. If there are problems, please stay calm for the sake of the student, right? If their pianist is running late, or if they are late getting to their room because another room is falling behind, that is not uncommon. And please help them stay calm and let them know that it's going to be fine and it's okay to go out of order. If there is an issue in a room, write it down, not on the judging sheet, and just get it to me in the tally room, either via email or phone, or there will be some volunteer runners around that you could hand it to as well. And you'll want to go ahead and judge as if there is no problem. Just judge them as if there's no problem at all. The head judge will let me know if there is a problem and let me worry about any repertoire questions. All right. Important tips: be positive, be constructive, not destructive, be gracious with difficulties. Consider the age and level of the singer. We're not going to judge a young high schooler the same way we would a fourth year post-college, post-high school student, right? And we're not going to use the same language to talk about singing with a child that we would use to talk with, a second-year college student. Stick to the singing, and what I mean by that is we're not here to really talk about people's clothing or hairstyle, or even any of their physical things that you might notice. In terms of repertoire, it is okay to maybe mention diversity of repertoire, but in terms of appropriateness of repertoire, that is not something for us to really judge. So please stay away from that. No solicitation. Please do not try to recruit singers to your school. This is not the place for that. And remember that your comments carry weight, that a lot of these singers are early in their musical journeys, and a lot of their vocal identity and self-image is being formed right now. And the things that you say carry weight and importance, whether we realize it or not. Toggles should reflect the scores and comments. Give students constructive feedback, something actionable. Only positive comments can be just as unhelpful as only negative comments, right? Nobody wants to hear, "Oh, you're great," blah 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 blah, but then the score is not 100. Clearly, there is something that they need to work on. Just as we don't want to just hear negative things, right? How can the student grow as a performer and keep it student focused? After the adjudication, no discussion of the student. We're not going to have conversations amongst ourselves in the adjudication room, but we're also not going to discuss the students in the hallways or in the courtyard or in the workshop sessions. You never know who's going to be around. There are going to be a lot of parents here on Saturday, teachers, and you never know what a student, even if you're not talking about them, how they will take you discussing a student. Consider the level of the singers in your scores. After you've scored everyone, I highly suggest you going back to your forms and looking at the scores one more time, and consider the level of the singer and the repercussions of the scores. Check that your scores are complete and saved. And no decimals. I cannot say that enough. The head judge will then report to the tally room, and the other judges can just hang out in the building until this part is complete. Sing-off rounds. If you are adjudicating a sing-off round, or your student is in a sing-off round, they're in a split category, they will have a sing-off round. These are first come, first serve in the room, meaning as a student becomes available and finds out that they made the sing-off round, then they go directly to the room and they'll sing. A pianist will be provided if the student's pianist is unavailable. The top 3 from each of those split categories move into the sing-off round. And in the sing-off round, there's one song each. There's a score, but no comments. Judges are assigned already, and locations will be in the results document. Results. They're posted on social media, then on the web page. However, you'll also find a QR code at the registration table, and we're going to put it in different places in the building, and it's in the student information document that I sent out earlier this week. There is a Google document that will be updated dynamically throughout the day, live updated throughout the day, so that students can see when results are posted, and they will be posted in that results document. The top scorer in each category is invited to sing on the honors recital. That's the top scorer in each of the split categories, as well as in the sing-off round. So we want to celebrate the top scorer in all of those. Results are also posted in the document. They're available after the recital as well as ongoing through the recital. After this, if your student qualifies for the National Student Auditions, the NSA, the top 5 singers advance. In the result document, those singers will be notated with an NSA. And those singers will move on to a YouTube round. They'll need to put together videos for those YouTube rounds. And then the subsequent rounds are live. So the semifinals and the finals are live. Results, once the results are verified, I will be sending all of the results from our region on to the NSA team. And if your student or you qualified for the NSA, you will receive an email in a couple of weeks from Mark McQuaid, who is in charge of the NSA. And the registration process for the NSA is a little different than it is for the chapter in the region, but he will have detailed information in his email. You can look at a lot of those details on the national website now. The application for the NSA, if you qualified, is due April 10th, 2026. That's the application, as well as the videos. And then the live event for the semifinals and finals will happen July 3rd through the 7th at the 59th NATS National Conference in San Antonio, Texas. Throughout the day, if you find that you are having some technical difficulties, your password is not working, you can't find your adjudication, something is just not working, we have a techno diva, is what I'm calling her. Melissa Chavez. You'll get to see her in person on Friday and Saturday. She's just wonderful, and she's extremely helpful, but she's going to be running around the building with a backpack and laptop, and she's there to really troubleshoot if you have any problems. This is her phone number, and you can reach her via text during the auditions if you run into technical difficulties. The tally room, for those of you who are head judge, is room 2115. And if you need to reach me, Serena LaRoche, there is my cell phone number. You're welcome to text. When things start to get really, really busy, I may not be checking my texts as frequently. So if you have a question, you can always stop by the tally room. We have breakfast items available for judges and NATS members in the morning, and then we have boxed lunches at 11:30. Those will be available to them at 11:30. It'll be in the same location as hospitality. If you had indicated any kind of special diet, those lunches will be set aside. If we will end up with a few extra boxes for sale, and those will be $16, and there will be a Venmo QR code in the room where the boxes are, and you can take care of that at that time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to stop my share and see if there are any questions from the people in the room. I'm sure I have forgotten something. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I read in the multiple emails or whatever, all of those things that you send that um, we will have to pay for parking, um, but that Lot Z and Lot 1 are also available. How how is that going to be available on Fridays? Because that's only available after 4. Is it like a normal?
So, so I know it's going to be free on Saturday. I did find out today that one of the lots is going to be free because of spring break. It's normally a student lot. Hold on, I can tell you really quickly. Let me get back to my email really quick. I I literally just got this email and I've been on the road all day. They told me lot one, so that's B, C, and D, is free on Friday due to spring break. It's normally a student lot and it's going to be free for us that day. So if you want to avoid any charges, any parking charges, you can always park in that lot, in those
Okay.
lots. Yes.
Just lot one. I'm also thinking it would be lots. They didn't mention lot Z. Lot C is the one that's closest to Clarice, and
No.
it's also a student lot.
No, unfortunately, no. They just said lot one, that's B, C, and D. Lot Z will be, I think, believe is free on Saturday, but it's not free on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other
Oh, I'm
questions?
sorry. Also, is there parking around, what is it, the hall for the member? Do you know
There's
anything
a,
about parking?
yeah, there's a private parking lot at the hall.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Is that a pay garage as well,
no,
or?
I don't think so. I think it's a restaurant venue. It is a, yeah, I think it has its own parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Other questions? There's no way that I answered all the questions.
I might have one.
What you got, Missy?
So I'm looking at audition wear, and
Mhm.
should I be going through the registration? There was like a place where I could register. I'm a substitute judge.
Mhm.
Um, should I be going through that now and filling that out now, or should
I
I wait until the morning of?
I
And
think
I'm
that
only on Saturday, I think.
correct. I
Yeah.
may have already registered you
Okay.
I
on
didn't notice
the,
that, so thank you for that question. Thank you.
yeah. If you go, does it say my registration or does it say, let me
Let me
pull up,
double check. Okay, so I'm
because I
in.
think I registered all of our, I went ahead and registered all of our
I looked at mine and you
adjudicators.
already have, like, I have the assignment and everything already. So I would
Yeah.
assume that means we're registered, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank
If you
you.
can get into Auditionware and you see a button that says View My Participant Schedule, Adjudicate, Participant, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it just says like at the bottom, then like participation forms will not be available until the 20th. And you're like,
Correct, correct.
holy
I'm not going to
crazy.
make them available until that morning because you don't need to be writing comments until you see a singer. So,
Yeah, mine just says my registration. It doesn't say, I don't see a button that has.
you just have a green button that says register for an audition or a conference.
Well, there's a blue button above that that says my registration, Mid Atlantic 2026, Mid Atlantic Region Nats,
But
CLHJ.
there's nothing there's not a button underneath that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is there another box, if you look around, is there another box that has a
I-
link in it that says view my participant schedule?
It should be to the right, like literally directly to the right of that, that's what it is. It's not the register thing.
Okay. I'm seeing things underneath it.
Yes. So like if you go to the
The green.
right,
Okay.
you go to the
Yeah,
right.
there's like a green top, and then it has forms miscellaneous, repertoire reference,
Yes.
database, view my
Yes.
participant. Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, yes. If you click on that, it takes you to the page where you'll see if you registered anybody, they will be there. But then if you scroll down, it's also going to show you your adjudication. But it's not going to show you right now
Okay.
because I haven't made it available for you to see.
Okay. Cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
these say, though they do say fall 2025. They don't say. Oh, never mind. Here the blue ones are.
Yes.
No, that's virtual. Oh no. Okay. It keeps going down. Okay. I think I got it. All
Keep
on the
going.
day, I know what's up.
Well, and and
I
if you
assumed it was just I guess that's interesting. Mine says virtual now that I'm seeing it, but if you click virtual, I was clicking on the virtual one, but if you click on either one, it tells you the in-person one.
Okay. Cool.
It's kind of like
Okay, there it is. Yeah, I
they're
see.
trying to make sure that if you aren't caffeinated, you're good.
Yeah.
I guess
That
that's
makes
what we're going for here.
well, I'm
that
So
hopeful
makes
that you'll
sense.
be caffeinated on Friday and Saturday.
very caffeinated. Judging and singing, I'll be very caffeinated.
Right. Well, and I took great care to make sure that you were going to be, yeah, finished with your adjudication. But
I saw that, and even my teacher was like, "Man, she really is great. Like we don't, she really is." And I was like, coming from him, I'm like, okay.
All right. Are there other questions? And it's okay if you think of something between now and then. You can shoot me an email. I may or may not have time to respond, but you can always ask at the meeting on Friday, or if it's a technical question on the day of, you can ask
Oh,
Melissa.
yes. Well, I'm assuming there will be a Wi-Fi code and all of that
Yes.
for us,
So
I assume, but
yes, there's. I meant to put that in my slide. Actually, there's a guest network
okay.
that doesn't have a password. You just have to register your email, I think,
Okay.
address.
I assume that will be at the meeting as well on Friday and
Yes. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. I'll
Cool.
make sure to put it in my slide for Friday. I meant to do it tonight, but I ran out of time. I just got to Maryland like an hour ago. So, and I had to update some things in my slide, and that was just one of the things I didn't get to. So, are there other questions?
One more. If we have a big break in our schedule, are we free to leave and come back?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Um, and I assume when you say a big break, do you mean like you're finished with a category?
Well,
And
I'm gonna get there early for the judges meeting and everything, but my adjudication doesn't start until later. So,
yeah, please,
yeah, just
please
okay.
go. Yeah, go do your thing.
Okay, cool.
And
Oh, I have one more question. Um,
ask away.
are judges allowed to? I read that there's gonna be a headshot person. Are
Yes,
judges allowed to sign up? Or
sure you
okay,
can.
I
Sure
didn't
you
know
can.
that
It's not well, and I mean, he does a really nice job. I think it's $25. Yeah.
25. I was like, whoa.
He
Yeah.
really
Just do it just for a nice one.
I know. Well, and I told him, I've told he's a Nats member, and he just really feels passionately about offering this service to the students. So yeah, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
he's really great, and he also helps us out a lot with the social, with the planning, and he's got a fun trivia game planned for the social, so it'll be fun.
And let me just double check the social is free except for the cash bar. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Oh
It's
my gosh, amazing.
yeah, it's kind of fiesta themed. So we've got some vegetarian options and non, meat lovers options. So it's going to be fun. I think it'll be fun, and it'll be great to really get to meet Melissa Greenblatt in person. She's the new executive director. She just started in January. I think this is the first Nat's region event that she's going to, and so we're excited to just welcome her and kind of show her what it is that we do. And yeah, we've got a nice slate of presenters this time. These are all Mid-Atlantic members that were chosen from the people who submitted proposals to do different workshops. So we're excited about those as well. Yeah. Other questions? This is what this is for. So if you have questions, I'm here to answer it. No? Okay. Well, if you have questions, we're going to meet again on Friday and Saturday. And, there'll be a lot of members around to ask questions to as well. So I'm happy to meet you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you this weekend. All right. I'm going to stop the recording. Bye. Let's see.